Today you will learn how to make an extremely powerful stun gun. And we will carry on some tests in the end. For assembly, you're gonna need some pieces of electronics. The assembling process will go due to the AK-22 scheme. Firstly, I need to solder the multipliers together. They make the current flow stably and increase the voltage rate. These high voltage condensers and diodes are from the old TV's multipliers. I have soldered the condensers in couples, nextly the diodes. The anode of one diode must be connected to the cathode of the other diode. Make four like this, then make a sandwich out of it and solder them together. The wire in the middle must be connected to the secondary winding of the transformer. And these thick wires are for the high voltage contacts. This 220 volts plug will suit perfectly for these contacts. But we also need to sharpen them a little. As you could mention, the case is a sewer pipe. And I'm going to install the multiplier in the cap. Let's make the holes for the plug.
Wow.
Looks fearsome. Next thing is soldering together the multipliers and the contacts, setting it right in the cap. And then we need to seal it with the epoxy resin. I'm getting the mixture ready. Fixate the multipliers. Pouring down. While the multipliers are getting ready, let's make a transformer. This one is from the old computer's power supply. And we need to remove its old winding from it. To open the case of such transformer, you need to heat it with the solder machine for 5 minutes. After this, it can be opened easily. Remove all contacts. Take the lacquer insulated wire 0.5 mm diameter, wind it 5 times, and you will get just the length you need to make a new winding. I will make the primary winding in 2 bunches, 5 wires in each bunch. Then I connect these 2 bunches and wind them around the coil together. Then I use 10 layers of scotch tape to make the isolation. Then I take a small wire with 0.1 mm diameter and wind it 1000 times, that's the secondary winding. And I need to use 5 layers of scotch every layer of winding for short circuit protection. With this devilish current, the winding is ready and I shall connect both parts with some glue. For better protection, I will also wind the device around with the isolation tape and the transformer's winding too. The primary winding has 4 outputs for now, but I need to connect 2 of them together, the start of one winding with the start of another winding. It must look like this. I took the radiator from the same computer's power supply, to make it the basis for the multi-vibrator of the stun gun. I have cut the extra part of the radiator, and I set there the MOSFETs. These are very powerful transistors. I also need to make some isolation between the MOSFET and the radiator's case, because I don't want to get hurt. Then I have soldered the multi-vibrator according to the scheme, and that's what I've got. Let's make a battery. There are 3 batteries of 11650 to get 12 volts. I just glue them together, and then I solder them in series. That's it, it's almost ready. Let's install it in the case. Sure, I don't need the extra part. And I need to make a hole for the switch buttons. Soldering the wires to the buttons. Next I need to solder the plus wire to the center contact of the primary winding and isolate it well. Using some glue to connect the transformer and the multiplier. Soldering the wires and setting it all inside. Soldering one of the buttons outputs, and the manized contacts to the multi-vibrator, and solder the transformers to the primary winding. Just putting all inside and solder the accumulator. Fixing the accumulator with glue. Don't forget about the button. Removing extra with knife. Well, let's check it out. These strikes look deadly. Maybe it can light a 60-watt bulb.
О, ничего себе!
As you saw, it was shining brightly. This means the power is devastating. Let's test it in some real life. Hey, what are you up to? Hey dude, cool down, buddy. That wasn't really pleasant. As you can see, the stun gun is really powerful.